Mom walked in my bedroom and sat on my bed in our home in Montevideo. She started caressing my hair. Jose, you sometimes behave as something you are not. I was around the age of 10, yet knew what she meant. I had already been called Sisi, maricon, in school and sensed dislike on people's faces when I let my spontaneous self show. Years later, she cried. When I told her the reason I was out the previous night was because I had stayed at the hospital with a friend dying of AIDS. She was crying about me, not about my friend, upset by the implicit indication that I was gay. Sadly, her early Alzheimer's did not allow us to revisit these memories as adults. When I was in my 20s, Dad called me into his office the day after all the gay bars in Montevideo were raided. Every man in every one of those places had been arrested and taken to the police station for questioning on a criminal case involving a relative of the country's president. Jose, how did you end up in jail last night? My father asked. Be careful who you go out with. I know good psychiatrists I can put you in touch with if needed. He was proud, however, the day I came down with gonorrhea. Oh, satisfaction in his face while injecting me with penicillin and joking about my presumed adventures with female prostitutes made this episode a bonding experience in our father-son relationship. Not only do my dad and I look still alike and carry the same first, middle, and last names, I decided to become a doctor too. But midway into medical school training, I realized I'd be a better scientist than a doctor. It was easier for me to face reality when dealing with a guinea pig than a person. In my workplaces, however, I kept blushing when colleagues lamented, I haven't had a puto minute to run a puto experiment. Puto, faggot, is not an uncommon expression in my native country of Uruguay. That blushing went away when a few years later I arrived in California as a postdoctoral fellow and saw guys holding hands on the street. I went back home then, but nothing was the same after having experienced comfort with my identity and the marvels of the United States academic environments. And here I am now, studying the brains of barn owls. People ask me, why that choice? The simplest answer is that I'm fascinated by brains that are not close to ours, yet reveal universal laws of nature, just as astrophysicists are by planets and stars in other galaxies. Being a gay neuroscientist is often a rather lonely endeavor. It's hard to find role models among colleagues. I often wish my male colleagues stopped pushing me to conform to masculine standards of leadership and success, and confusing kindness with being bendable. Still, growing up as a gay boy taught me how to read people's faces and switch from Venus to Mars in a wink, which has helped. Things have turned out all right for a self-professed gay Latino nerd who's managed to act on principle. Investigating owls inspires me daily and has given me a bird's eye view on human dealings, especially in these times when we can't stop hearing about building walls to keep out people from countries like mine. Though I think of myself an open door. Was growing up gay in my Latin American country of Uruguay different than growing up here? I just know that what I experienced where I lived, but now that I'm an adult and I live here, I have some perspective. Just the other day, my sister texted asking if the puto book she had ordered arrived. I smiled and replied, by puto you mean wonderful, right? I'll check the order status of that book.